First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsung Kung. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Tupten Tarshi. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice this evening, Padma Kumara. Sumo, Tanzangato, Tupten Siti, Tupten Kama, all Dharma masters, Dharma lecturers, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma tutors, temple and center directors, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, how do you do?
I stay. Hola amigo. Te quiero mucho. Sukoyin. Ichiba. Kimochi ii. Jumi. Yapi. Pudin pudin. Komawa.
Today, we had the graduation ritual for their training for the ordained Sangha training. As a Dharma teacher, you should have Dharma in order to be a teacher. A Dharma teacher is not that by shaving your head you become a Dharma teacher. You have to have the responsibility of a Dharma teacher or referent. Most importantly, you have to deliver yourself and deliver others. Until you perfect yourself and others, that you would be called a Siddha, that you have attainment only after you have delivered yourself and others. So for a Dharma teacher, they must have many things to learn. Although they have learned them and graduate, but those are just the fundamentals. Most importantly, you need to delve into the profundity of the sutras and the Tripitaka. So only by mastering the Tripitaka would you be called the Dharma teacher of Tripitaka. And the Tripitaka includes sutras, vinayas or precepts, and sastras, the three baskets. Sutras, vinayas, and sastras. Sutras are the Dharma or the teachings spoken by the Buddha. Vinaya is the precepts for all the monks and the nuns, bhikshus and bhikshunis. So the precepts include the precepts for the sami, the novice, for the bhikshus and for the bhikshunis. And the sastras are the treatises or the commentaries by all the past gurus with attainments or mahasiddhas. So these three baskets we call the Tripitaka, and only by mastering these three you would be a true Dharma teacher, not just by shaving your head and sleep and eat. But any Dharma teacher, any person needs to sleep and eat. Even eating and sleeping are also Buddha Dharma. From now on, everything is Buddha Dharma. I have said, eating means making offering, bardo delivering. Wearing clothes is doing protection. It's maintaining the precepts. Reciting is meditating, doing samadhi. And traveling is chanting the Buddha's name or chanting the sutras. So eating, wearing, reciting and traveling, they're all Buddha Dharma. None of the daily activities is not Buddha Dharma. So once you become a ordained Sangha, you would know how to cultivate spiritually. Just now I said only spiritual cultivation can lead you to the liberation from transmigration in the rebirth cycle. It doesn't matter which rebirth realm you are in, all the same you need to deliver yourself and others. All the same, you need to liberate yourself and also deliver others. You need to enlighten yourself and also enlighten others. You need to witness your Buddha nature and teach others to witness Buddha nature. Only until you reach the perfection of realization and conduct would you be Namo Buddhaya. So this is because the Dharma teachers celebrating their graduation, but that's only the beginning. Now we'll do the Q&A. A question from Malaysia, Lianhua Zhenyan. Okay, Master and Simu, peace. When an expecting mother attends a ceremony and receives an empowerment, does the life in her womb also receive the empowerment? Does it mean that the child can practice the Dharma without receiving empowerment in the future? The question that he asks, it's beyond my imagination. As she's pregnant and then she's receiving an empowerment, so is the fetus inside the womb receives empowerment and then in the future can just perform the practice? Namo Amitofo. It's difficult to answer. You say, as a baby inside the womb, and she receives an empowerment, so does it mean that the baby also receives an empowerment? Anybody wants to say your opinion? I think this name seems to indicate a man. No, in Indonesia. No, Malaysia. Lianhua Zhenyan. From Malaysia. It must be from a man. Can a man be pregnant? He's asking about a pregnant woman. Anybody smart? Smartest one, please give an answer. And nobody's smartest in Buddha school? I am very dumb. As you know, maybe I'm very stupid. My schooling in elementary school. Famous to be the last. I don't know how to answer. Let me ask the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The answer was outside my expectation. The answer. If the child when they are inside
他已经有
the
理解，
mother's womb, already have spiritual
他就感受了
feeling,
观点。
then they have received the empowerment.
如果这个小孩子他完全没有灵觉，
But if the fetus do not have any spiritual feeling, then it's the
这是有
same
例子，
as not
有例子。
receiving the empowerment. They are examples.
当初释迦牟尼佛的这个
Back
妃子，
then,
释迦牟尼佛妃子
Sakyamuni Buddha's
佛陀不是他已
queen,
经出家了吗？
Sakyamuni Buddha, had become a monk, and then his concubine, Yasudhara,
也梳头罗，因
Yasudhara,
为释迦牟尼佛用马鞭指着耶稣陀罗的肚子，
because Sakyamuni Buddha used the horse whip pointing to the abdomen of Yasudhara,
当然
she became
这个情
pregnant.
况完，不相信说这个是释迦牟尼佛的
And
孩子，
after she got married, she got pregnant, of course, the Prince Siddhartha's father did not believe that.
准备了火，把它丢入火坑烧它。
So the king prepared a
肚子里
fire
面的
to
孩子
burn
是有灵
her,
觉，
but
就是后
the
来十大
child
弟子，
inside
佛陀的十大弟子，
her womb had spiritual
罗吼罗、
awareness,
拉夫兰，
who later became Rahula, is one of the 10 great disciples of the
他已
Buddha,
经
the
有理
one
解，
with the most
他知道他自
secret
己
practices.
会被烧死。
So
那时候他在肚
he
子
had
里
the
面
spiritual awareness already,
有
and he knew that he was
累
about to
世的
be burned
那个根气，他的根气很大，
because he had a great, strong spiritual root to be a
他
disciple
念
of
了
the
一个密
Buddha.
咒，
So he chanted a secret
他在
mantra.
肚子里面已经可以念咒了。
So inside the womb, he already knew how to
这
chant
个
the
火
mantra.
坑啊，就
By
化成
chanting that
百年池
mantra, the fire pit became a lotus pond, white lotus pond.
因此是肚子里面的小孩救了
So
耶稣陀罗的命。
the baby inside her womb saved Yasudhara's life.
所以要看那个怀孕的里面的肚子
So
里
it
面
depends
有灵觉的，
on the
有根气的，
on the child inside the womb. If they have spiritual awareness
自然
and
就是
spiritual
接受
capacity, then they would receive the empowerment.
就变成两个答案。
So there are
一个
two
没有灵
answers.
觉的，
For those without spiritual
当然就是没有
awareness,
受
then
到
of
感
course they don't
有
receive
灵
or
觉
they
的
don't
就是受到
receive the empowerment. But those with spiritual awareness, they receive the empowerment.
这样子听得懂吗？
Do you understand?
对呀、这个将来如果转世再来，
That's right. In the future, if I were
师
to
父
be
如果来世
reincarnated,
再来
it's coming again,
因为师尊
come
今年
again
已
to
经
the Saha world,
80，
because Grandmaster's already 80
台湾
this
岁是
year,
80岁，
according to Taiwanese
差不
calendar.
多美国岁也差不多80岁，
And it's also
美国岁
according
也差不
to
多80岁。
American calendar as well.
很多的弟子讲说，师尊
And
啊，
many disciples said,
进到我的
Grandmaster,
胎吧，
you come to my womb, okay?
我会好好养你。
I will take good care of you.
走了以后，他这个
So after I
会
pass,
跟我勾勾手指头，他要当我妈妈。
we hook our pinkies and she wanted to be my mother.
师尊，
A disciple from California, she wanted to be my mother.
我怀胎的时候你要进到我里面，我要当你的妈妈，
When
好好
I'm
照顾你。
pregnant, you need to come into my womb and I want to be your mother, taking good care of you.
另外还有别人，还有中国大陆，
And some other people from mainland China who also said that.
我现在还在考虑，
And I'm still considering,
因为他可以自己选择要在哪一个胎
because
出生，
they can choose
真
on
正
their
有一个
own
灵觉的，
where they want to be born. Those with a true spiritual awareness can.
像释迦牟尼佛，
Like Sakyamuni Buddha,
他选择自己的母亲，
he chose his own mother.
他的母亲梦见这个
His mother dreamt
六牙大白象
of
进
the
到他的
six tusked white elephant entering into her womb.
是摩崖夫人啊，摩
That's
崖夫人
Lady
还要生
Maya.
产以前，他梦到有六牙大白象进到
So
胎里面出生。
before giving birth, she dreamt of the six tusked white elephant entering into her womb. So that showed that the baby had
而且你看
spiritual
那
awareness.
个按照他所讲的，释迦牟尼一出生，
According to what they said, when Sakyamuni
生下
Buddha
来
was
一手
born,
指天，一手指地，
immediately he could have one hand pointing to the sky, another hand pointing to the
唯
earth,
我独尊。
that in heavens and on
就
earth,
能够这样
I'm
子
the
做，
only one.
还
He
不
could do
不
that
生
right
有，
away. And then after
这个都是有灵
each
觉
of his steps,
生出来。
there was a lotus blossom. So
我
he
出生
had
的时候，
spiritual awareness. When I was born,
跟罗刹三太子差不多。你看
it
那个
was almost
封神
like
榜里
the
面，罗刹
Naja,
出
the
生的时
prince,
候啊，
the
他
third prince
母亲
Naja.
生他是生出来是一团弱球，
See, when the mother
每次
gave
生出
birth
一
to
个
him,
一
it
个
was
蛋
a ball. It's a
生出一个
meatball,
肉蛋，
like a meat egg.
把那个肉球打开，
And
小孩子
then
才蹦得出来。
when you open the
是罗刹三太
meat
子，
ball, there was
封
the
神榜里面是这样
baby popping out, and that's the third
我出
prince
生的时候
Naja.
啊，
That's
唯一
in
跟人家
the
不同，
legend of the
全身都包
gods.
的都是白纱，
When I was born,
等于是一团白，
I was unique because I was enshrouded by
白色的
white,
纱布，把我整个人都全部包住。
like silk thread.
那个产妇啊，就是说生这个，
So the midwife
然后她用煤油，
felt
那时候
that
煤油吧，麻油是吧？用麻油
at
慢
that
慢的把
time
那
they
个白
used
纱
sesame oil to take
小
off
孩子
that
就出来。
white thread.
都是有一些特别不一样的。
So there's always something unique or something different.
唯一的不跟人家不一样。
So what's unique about Grandmaster is to be enshrouded that by white
耶稣
thread
像圣母
or
玛利亚，
fabric.
生耶稣，
So like
人家那个波斯的三个博
Mother
士，
Mary
看
giving
天象，
birth to
看到一颗
Jesus,
大星出
there
现，
were 3 kings from the
在伯利恒，
Persia who saw the star
三个博士骑着骆
pointing to
驼
Bethlehem,
来
and the
找那个星
3
星，就
kings
找到耶稣。
rode on the camels to follow the star and found Jesus.
因为那时候啊，他们只是订婚了，玛利亚跟他的
And Marie
他们还没有洞房，结果
and
孩子就出来。
her partner,
所以
that was before
耶稣
marriage,
小时候也不是
so
很
they had not shared
因为耶稣的父亲哦，
a bed.
觉得说好像这孩子不是他，
So Virgin Mary. So that's why Jesus' father also felt that Jesus
我
was
出
not
生
his
的时候
son.
啊，
The same with my
因为
father.
父母结婚才7个月，
When I was born, that was 7 months
我就出
after
生，
my parents got married.
母亲说我是早产，
And my mother
我父
said
亲
I
说
was
没有这
premature.
回事，
But my father said no such a thing.
我就完蛋了，
And I'm
从
dead.
此过完蛋的日子。
That I live a suffering
我已经
day,
讲过了，
suffering life.
先送给我外婆养，
I've told you.
我父亲
And
不
I
认，
was given to my
这孩子不是
grandma
我的，
because my father
Okay,
did not
why-
want to accept that I was
外
his
婆养
son.
一阵子，外婆死了，
So I was taken care by my
So
grandmother until she died. And then my aunt took care of
我
me.
阿姨要结婚了，
And when my aunt was about to get married, there was no other ways. And so she took me home.
从此就是这样的。
And that's how it was
我也不
after
知道
that.
哪里谁是我真正的 father。Who is my father？
So I don't know who's my real father.
我也不知道我父亲是谁，因为我父亲从来不认我。
Because my father never recognized me.
所以也是很可怜。
So that was quite
小时候被弃养，
pitiful. I was mistreated when in childhood.
但是我那天那个我的本尊跟我指示说，你爸爸现
The
在
other
已
day,
经到了西方极乐
My
世界
Yidam
去
told me that your father now has gone to Sukawati
所有的亲人先超度
because I Bardu delivered my family and relatives first. And I Bardu delivered them all.
养我的父亲，我会把他超度。
The father who raised me,
还有一个
I also Bardu delivered him.
是我大姐，
And there was one who came to me, was my
许福起，
brother-in-law
他也来找我。
of my
他说
elder
你
sister
超度了那么多人，
by the
我
family
小
named
时候
Xu.
对你最好。
You have
为什么
Bardu
没有超
delivered
度
so many of them, but I was kindest to you when you were
那个
little.
姓
Why
许
didn't you Bardu deliver me? And then so finally I Bardu delivered him, the family named Xu, the husband of my elder sister.
最照顾我，
Because in my childhood there were 2 people who took best care of me, my elder sister
爱子，有爱子，他照顾我很。
by the name of Lu
还有我的
Aiz
阿姨
and my aunt
王雪花，
Huang Xuehua.
她照顾我很多。
She
这两
took
个人都是我
care greatly of me. These 2 people were my
所以要我超
benefactors.
度，我会把他超度。
So my elder sister's husband came to me wanting to be Bardo delivered, so I did. Those were all of the past. They were always history in life, right? But not enough for outsiders.
讲笑话吧啊！昨天晚上啊，去那个
Let's share some joke.
按摩脚的店按摩。
Last night I
是一
went
个帅哥给我
to the massage
他
parlor,
的手劲太大了，
and a handsome man
我说了
with
好几
strong
遍轻一点。
with
当我
great
说到
strength
讲到第六遍的
massage
时
me,
候，
and I've told
跟他
them,
讲
oh,
还能再
lighter,
轻一点。
lighter, 6 times.
他
And
对
I
我
said,
说
6,
没
even lighter.
我如果再轻一点，就成了摸了。
And then he replied, if you want it lighter, then it would become a caress.
按摩脚底。
That's massaging the sole of the feet.
小的时候，父母工作很忙，把我
When I was
送到
little,
乡
my
下外
parents were
婆家。
very busy, and they sent
小
me
学一
to
年级
my
开学的
mom's
时候，
mother in the village.
校园里面长满了草。
And
老师
then
说，下午
the
劳
first
动
grade
课
in elementary,
请同学
there were
们
many
帮
grass,
忙除草。
and the teacher said,
等到下午的时候，
we'd like to have all the
有的人
students help
带
cutting the
锄头，
grass.
有的人带
And
镰
then
刀，
some people bring
有
some
的带铲子。 我跑到外婆家，
sickles
把
and
牛牵来。
and
同学们不
shovels
请带来，
and all that.
这个时候
But I
就是我
brought
最
a
悲
cow
痛的时候，
to the school, and everybody was shocked.
带牛来吃草。
So I brought the cow to eat the grass.
有一个太太回家的时候啊，紧张，非常紧张。
A lady got home and
太太
very
就
anxious,
跟先生讲，刚才
excited,
吓死我了。
and told the husband, oh, I was so shocked just now. What happened?
那个太
The
太
husband
一个
asked.
男人一直跟着我。
And the lady said, oh, there's a man
那
kept
个
following
先生就
me.
讲，
And
你
this
有
one
没
said,
有看清楚那个男人长得怎么样？
did you see clearly what
太
he
太
looks
讲
like?
没有啊，
And the
我
wife
低
said,
着头，
no,
根
I
本不敢回
just
头看
kept
他。
my head down. I didn't dare to look at him.
先生讲说，你应该回
And
头
the
的。
husband said, you should.
太太讲说，回头干嘛？
Why?
先
The
生说
wife，
你
asked.
一回头，
And the husband said, as soon
他
as
就不会
you
再跟你。
turn around and look
他
him in the
肯定
face,
跑得比你还快。
he wouldn't follow you anymore. He would run faster than you, run away faster.
就像我们那个 trick or treat，
This joke is like during the Halloween trick or
小明的
treat.
妈妈去参加那个
Xiaoming's mother
啊
attended the Halloween
鬼的那
party.
个谁化妆的像鬼的比赛，小明妈妈得到
competition
第一名。
who would
哇！那小明
get the
妈妈
best
厉害
costume. And Xiaoming's mom was first,
小明回来告诉
but
爸爸，
she cried really
鬼
hard.
节比赛啊，妈妈鬼节
And when
比
they
赛
got
得到
home,
第一
Xiaoming
名
said, well, you
第一
know,
名很
at
好啊。
Halloween, mom was first,
小明
number
讲
one. Oh,
但
that's
是她
good.
没有化妆就是第一名。
And Xiaoming said, but she won first without any costume or makeup. 到了这把年纪， At this age,
会在你的耳朵旁边唱歌的，
the one who would
而且
sing
很喜欢
at your ears and love your skin and your flesh, and then give you bumps. Only mosquitoes. The colleague went on a date, on a marriage date, and we asked, how did it go? In the beginning, it was good. And then the girl gave him a riddle and then left. What is the idiom with a group of women chatting without a man? I thought and could not get it. And then later on, I thought of it. Talk without a bird. Next time you can do that too. Now we'll expand on Vimalakirti Sutra. Sakyamuni Buddha told Ananda, Ananda, when you observe the Buddha verses, the ground may appear to have limits, but the sky has no limit. You see all the Buddhas have their Buddha verses or Buddha lands. But do you see the sky, the cosmic space? The cosmic space is infinite. Sakyamuni Buddha gave this analogy. In this way, one sees the physical forms of all Buddhas may appear limited, yet the obstructed wisdom is boundless. The Buddha's physical forms or appearances are limited, however, the wisdom of all the Buddhas are infinite, unobstructed, boundless. The wisdom of the Buddhas is boundless. The Buddha-verse is limited. The cosmic space is infinite. Sakyamuni Buddha continued, Ananda, all the Buddhas vary in their appearance, their attainments, their dignity, their characteristics, like precepts, meditative stability, wisdom, liberation, the knowledge and vision of liberation, their strengths, fearlessness, the 18 uncommon qualities, are all the same.
戒、定、慧、解脱、解脱之
Precept,
见，
meditation,
实力
liberation,
无所谓，
wisdom,
18不共之法，
knowledge and vision, liberation,
大
their
慈大
powers,
悲，威仪
fearlessness, the 18 uncommon
受
qualities,
教化
loving kindness, compassion,
成就众生，
dignified
净
manner,
国
conduct,
国土。
lifespan, Dharma teaching, deliverance
佛
and
的寿命，
deliverance
佛的说法，佛的种种的教化，
in guiding sentient
成
beings to
就
attain the
众
Buddha
生净
verses.
国国土。像西方极乐世界，阿弥陀如来，
To let sentient beings to attain the pure Buddha
你
verses.
看到了那个
Like
佛国境，
Sukhawatis of
有人问我，
Amitabha Tathagata.
去到那里还要守戒吗？
Someone asked
还
me,
要守戒律吗？
once you get
去到
there,
佛
do
国
you
境
still
要不要
need
守
to
戒律？
maintain the
我
precepts?
问大家，
Now I'm asking all
现
of
在问
you,
大家，去到了阿弥陀佛佛国，要不要守戒律？
if you go to the Buddha verse of Amitabha Buddha, do you still need to maintain the
要不要？
precepts?
有的摇头。
Some people shake their heads.
去到了西方极乐世界，要不要守戒律？
Do you need to abide by the precepts when you get to Sukhavati?
大部分都摇头。
Most people shook their heads.
我告诉大家，
But let me tell you,
去到了佛国净土，根本
really,
不用守戒律。
once you arrive at the Buddha verse, you don't have to
我们
abide
讲
by
五
the
戒就好
precepts. Let's talk about the
第一
five
个杀生
precepts.
戒，
Not to kill.
那你没有众生啊，
There are no sentient beings there.
没有所谓畜生道啊。有啦，有鹦鹉、
No
孔雀
animals. Well, but there are
家
parrots,
公命之
peacocks,
Mm.
Kalavinka,
那就是畜
Jivajiras.
生道。但是那
They
个畜
are
生
the
道，阿弥
animals,
陀经
but
写得很清楚，是阿弥
it's
陀佛
stated
画
in
出
the
来。
Amitabha Sutra, they were manifested by Amitabha Buddha.
是阿弥陀佛画出来。
They were manifested by
根本没有
Amitabha
畜生
Buddha.
所以杀
So
生戒
there are no animals there.
没
That's
生
why you don't have to abide by the precepts not to kill, because there is nothing or
第二个
nobody
道
to kill.
西方
Second,
极乐世界要
still,
不要守偷盗？不用，
do you need to
满地都是
maintain the
黄金。
precept not to steal?
我不是
No
讲
need.
厕所里面的黄金，
They're gold all over the
那
ground,
是
not those gold bar
黄
in the
金铺
toilet,
地呀。
but the gold covering all the ground. And the structures were all made from 7 treasures,
七重楼瓦，
7 layers of net, 7 layers of buildings, 7 layers of trees. They're all made of precious jewels. Why do you need to steal? You've lived in the best place possible.
那还需要偷盗吗？不用，满地都是黄金。
Do you still need to steal? No need. They're gold
我
everywhere
们明天
on the ground.
是勾财天女的父母，
Tomorrow we have the wealth-attracting goddess Homa, and I hope all of our ground will be covered by gold.
偷盗也不用了，
So there's no need to steal.
不像现在这里
Not like here now.
要偷啊，
You need to
加州
steal.
很多的这个抢
Especially
劫
in
啊，
California, there are many robberies and thefts.
实在压。
Really
在
yuck.
西方极乐世界
yuck.
满地都是钱，
But look, in Sukhavati, there are money everywhere. What do you need to steal?
你说要不要守那个邪淫的戒？
Now, do you need to maintain the precept not to commit sexual misconduct? There are no women there. We're all the same gender. So, of course, there's no sexual misconduct, no more desire.
沙帽林旺，那里就是善人聚会的地方，不会讲假话，没有什
And
么假话好讲。
not to lie.
那里也没有什么酒，
That's the place of the gathering of good people. There's no need to say false
你想
speech
喝什么甘露都有啊。
and no need to drink alcohol because they're all nectars there. You can drink all kinds of nectars.
你到了净土，根本就不用守戒律。
So in the Pure Land, there is no need to maintain the
我们娑
precepts
婆世界有很多的烦恼，
because we have lots of afflictions in the Saha world.
10岁种种的烦恼，
Afflictions due to wealth, fame, sleep, food,
到了佛国净土，根本就不用守戒，
and sensual
本来就清净。
pleasures. That's why you have to maintain the precepts. But in Sukhavati, you don't need to because it's all
像西
pure
方极乐
there,
世界，
intrinsic
你只要
suchness.
听到那个微妙天音啊，
Like in
自
Sukhavati,
然就升起三昧，
upon hearing the harmonious and graceful sound, you would generate
你知道那香
samadhi
积佛果，
and would cultivate
知道
naturally.
香米饭，
And if you go to omni-fragrant Buddha
香
verse,
积三
by
昧，
eating the fragrant rice, you would enter the
全身发
samadhi
出香味，
of
你就能够入禅定，
fragrance
入三昧当中。
accumulation. And your whole body would exude fragrance, and you would be in samadhi and
香
cultivating
也能够
spiritually.
修行，美妙的音乐
So
也能够修行，
fragrance can also allow spiritual cultivation, and beautiful music would also induce
所以
spiritual
我附魔
cultivation.
的时候很喜
That's
欢
why during Homa,
听一听
I
他们
like
唱的是
to first hear what they would be chanting. And some
让
chanting
人家
is
心
really
里非
beautiful,
常的平静。
that you would have calmness and peace in your
微
heart.
妙天音一产生出来，
In
你
the
就能
Pure
够入
Land
三
and
昧，
Buddha verse, with that
就是说
graceful, harmonious sound, you would enter samadhi. That's spiritual cultivation.
所以西方极乐世界是
So
以声音来度众生，
in Sukhavati, we
香积佛
use
果是
sound to
以
deliver
香米
sentient
来度
beings.
众生。
In the omni-fragrant Buddha verse, they use fragrant rice to deliver sentient beings. They are all different,
全部都是佛。
but they are all Buddha Dharma.
这些18不共大法，大慈大悲威仪
So
所
the
行，
18 uncommon qualities, loving kindness,
受
compassion,
命说法教化，
preferred manner,
成就众
conduct,
生尽佛
all
国，
the same
具
for all the
诸
Buddhas.
佛法，戒系戒同等。
So all Buddha Dharma is equal.
所有的佛都是平等，
All Buddhas are equal.
佛性都是平等，
Buddha nature is
没
all
有差
equal. No differentiation,
别，
no
有差别
differences.
也是佛法。没有
Even
差
those
别
with
的，到
differences
最后
are also
大家
Buddha
都没有差
Dharma. But
都是
ultimately,
同等
at the
佛性。
end, there are no
成
differences.
了佛，他们都是平等。
Once you become a Buddha, you're all equal.
这里是释迦牟尼佛，续戒同等。
So Sakyamuni Buddha
对阿难说
said all is equal. Sakyamuni Buddha told
释迦牟尼
Ananda,
佛在娑婆世界
although Sakyamuni Buddha is in the Saha
是
world,
一样的，没有障碍。
but all the same, he has no hindrances.
他跟香积佛果的香积佛一样，
He's the same as the fragrant accumulation Tathagata of the omni-fragrant Buddha verse. is the same, but just the way of delivering sentient beings is different. Earlier, we talk about because there's suffering, and Sakyamuni Buddha used suffering to deliver sentient beings. Because sentient beings have sufferings. Because you all know suffering, that's why you want to be liberated. So, suffering is Buddha Dharma. So, he used suffering as Buddha Dharma. Because humans have afflictions, he used afflictions as Buddha Dharma to deliver sentient beings. That's why afflictions are enlightenment. So there's just one Dharma and never two. That's why it's non-duality Dharma gate. Sakyamuni Buddha told Ananda. Therefore, they are called Samyak Sambuddha. Tathagata and Buddha. Samyak Sambuddha. In Taiwanese, Samyak Sambuddhi, Anuttara Samyak Sambuddhi means the supreme perfect enlightenment. Tathagata is the same as Buddha. That's Tathagata, Buddha, Samyak Sambuddha. That's their names. Ananda, if I were to fully explain the meaning of these three phrases, Samyak Sambuddha or Anuttara Samyak Sambuddhi, Tathagata and Buddha, even a lifespan of a kalpa would be insufficient. Like no matter how long you live, it would not be enough. In India, they use this kalpa to represent. In India. So, no matter how long you live, it would not be sufficient to listen to the meaning of these three terms. Supreme Perfect Enlightenment, Tathagata and Buddha. Your whole lifetime would not be enough to listen to the explanation of these three terms. Even if these 3,000 great thousand worlds were filled with beings who, like Ananda, were foremost in upholding perfect memory and with lifespans of a kalpa, they would still not be able to fully receive it. What does it mean? It's boundless and vast. Tathagata, Buddha, and Anuttara Samyak Sambuddhi. Their spatial dimension is boundless. Their time dimension is also boundless. Just for these three terms, Tathagata, Buddha, and Samyak Sambuddhi, that you, Ananda, would not, your whole lifetime would not be enough. So it means that the past, present, and future will not be enough either. And then up and down and the 8 directions represent vast and boundlessness, vastness and boundlessness. No one can understand these 3 terms. Buddha, Tathagata,
这三句话，没有
and
能够真
Samyak
正
Sambuddhi.
给他讲到完。
No one can truly explain it completely.
如是阿难，释迦牟尼佛又对阿难尊者讲了。
Sakyamuni Buddha told Ananda again, thus Ananda, the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, Supreme Perfect Enlightenment of the Buddhas, is limitless. So, the Supreme Perfect Enlightenment of all Buddhas is infinite, and their wisdom and eloquence are inconceivable, beyond your imagination. So Ananda told the Buddha, from now on, I dare not consider myself learned, or the one who's heard and learned the most, because of the 10 great disciples, Ananda has heard the most. Actually, what he's learned is just tiny little bit. How could it? Among the Shravakas, perhaps he's the most learned, but among the Bodhisattvas or the Buddhas, just tiny little bit. Just a drop. And so Ananda said, oh, I can't say I'm the most learned anymore. And the Buddha told Ananda, oh, do not become discouraged. Because I said that, you become disheartened and left spiritual cultivation. Why? I have said that among the Sravakas, you are the most learned. In that realm, you have heard the most. So you're still number one in hearing. But in the realm of the Buddhas, you only know tiny little bit. So do not abandon your spiritual commitment. Why? Because Ananda, among the Sravakas, you have heard the most. You can't compare to the Bodhisattvas. Let it be, Ananda. The wise one should not try to measure the Bodhisattvas. You are wise since you have great wisdom, but it's difficult for you to measure the realm of the Bodhisattvas or the realm of the Buddhas. The realm of the Bodhisattvas are already higher than the realm of the Sravakas, let alone the realm of the Buddhas. It's inconceivable, immeasurable. Don't think that you're the greatest and high, but actually you're just tiny, like a sesame seed or mung bean. Nothing, no big deal. Among the Sravakas, Ananda has heard the most, but he's incomparable to the Bodhisattvas. All the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, you can't even start to compare. So according to Sakyamuni Buddha, you can measure the depth of the ocean or the vastness of the ocean, but not the meditative stability, wisdom, upholding of the teaching, eloquence, and merits and virtues of the Bodhisattvas. So the Bodhisattvas' meditation, all the wisdom, Dharma
菩萨所
power,
有一切的辩才、一
eloquence,
切功德，根
merits
本没
and
有办法测量。
virtues cannot be measured at all.
海都可以测量，
You can measure the ocean,
菩萨没有办法测
but
量。
not the bodhisattvas.
所以不要以为自己多大，
So don't think you are that
芝麻
great.
绿豆关，
You're just tiny little bit.
芝麻绿豆关还好的，连芝麻绿豆
Sesame
都不
seed
行。
and a mung bean, that's still not bad, but even not that big.
所以很多人呢，自己以为啊，
So many people think
很伟大，
that they are great.
简直是屁放屁，
That's
渺小的很，
minuscule.
连一只虫都不如。
Less than an insect.
我们学佛的人要谦虚啊，
So as a Buddhist, we should be modest and humble.
大的不得了，
And never think that you are great or the greatest or incredibly
迟
great.
早的很。
Too early to say, too early.
以这个来跟众生讲，
So Sakyamuni Buddha used this to tell sentient beings.
他讲
Look at the
如来
realm of the Buddhas.
佛陀
Tathagata,
正等正觉，
Buddha, Samyak Sambuddhi.
讲都讲不完，
It's
不可限量。
it's endless to explain. It's
海水都
immeasurable, inconceivable. You can measure the ocean
年轻的
water.
时候我是学测量，
When Grandmaster was young, I
台湾
learned
的第一条
surveyor.
高速公路，
The first highway in Taiwan was surveyed by me.
第一条高速公路还以前没有高速公路啊，
And before that, there was no highways.
后来
And then later on,
这个叫我们测量，去测量高速公路。第一
they
条高
asked
速公
me
路
to survey the
我
highway.
负责哪一段？
So the first one
从
I
KL
did.
西湖到台中，
I did the part from Sihu to Taichung.
我学的是大地测量。
I learned about the Great Earth
台
Survey
北都市计划，
and the city planning of Taipei was also surveyed by me.
我测量哪里啊？
Where did I survey?
兴隆
Muza, Xindong
景美、
Road,
中和
Jingmei, Zhonghe,
啊，坚壁、中和、三重、
Sanchong
台北
all
都市计划。
were surveyed by myself.
另外有一些
So the city planning of Taipei
秘密
and some secret ones that I cannot share publicly.
是我去测量。钓鱼台
Also Diao Yitai.
本来台湾的地图上面是没有钓鱼台的，
On Taiwan map, there was no Diao Yitai because it was such a tiny island.
后来发觉原来钓鱼台底下有石油。
And then when we discovered
国防部发
there,
一个命令说，赶快你们这些测量人，赶快去给我把钓鱼台测出来。
what's that?
一大票的测量人员，
Petroleum.
哇，赶快
And when they discovered that, immediately they commanded us to survey
把钓鱼台
that island
画出来，
and then to add it onto the map,
台湾的地图上面。
on Taiwan map.
现在日本人讲说，钓鱼台是我们的。
So
中
the
国讲说
Japanese
钓鱼台
say
是我们的。
that
台湾讲说钓鱼台是我们的。
Japanese say that Diao Yitai is ours, and China said
其实
Diao
是
Yitai is
我们去
ours,
测量
and Taiwan also said Diao
说
Yitai is
没有
ours.
注重在那里
But actually, we added it later. And it was done by our surveying team. See, you can measure the ocean water. I've lived in Zoying, in the Navy Engineering College, to learn about to survey the ocean, the depth of the ocean, so that when the ships sail, that we have to know the depth of the ocean. Otherwise, the big ships may get stuck by the bottom of the ocean. So we have to survey the bottom of the ocean too. And there's also a sky surveying to get on the plane and to measure, and also the earth or the ground. And then the flat survey. So those are the skills I had surveying. So Sakyamuni Buddha said that you can measure the ocean, but it's impossible to measure or fathom the bodhisattvas. They are boundless. It's impossible. It's impossible to measure or to fathom their merits and virtues. So a human being is less than an ant. Just for this tiny little bit of ground, they were fighting with each other. Wouldn't it be good if people live in harmony, at peace with each other? And this is mine, this piece is mine, this piece is yours. Those are tiny little bit. And yet they were fighting to the end of their life. They were so dumb. They think they are smart. Humans think they are smart. This country fight with another country, fighting for power and status. But what can you take away from the earth? I've told you. Is there any human being that can take away anything with you? Not even a needle. So what are you fighting for? It's dog poo humanity. It's even worse. Humanity is worse than dog poo. So dumb. So that's why I am teaching all of you to open your heart and your mind. It should be as wide open as the sky. Then you can merge with the cosmic space. That's how humans are. If you are so small-minded and narrow-minded, then you have to stay in the rebirth cycle. But if you can be as wide open as the sky, you can merge with the cosmic space, then you would have attainments. That's why what Sakyamuni Buddha told Ananda was the ultimate truth. The wise one should not stay restricted or be limited by any limitations. So all the Buddha's meditation, wisdom, power, the upholding eloquence, merits cannot be fathomed or measured. Sakyamuni Buddha told Ananda, you and others disregard the practices of the bodhisattvas. Vimalakirti exercised his miraculous powers in an instant, which none of the Sravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, even if they exhausted their efforts and attempted transformation over hundreds of thousands of kalpas, can accomplish. So all the Sravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas will not be able to do what Vimalakirti did, even if the Sravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas Pratyeka Buddhas knew from the 12th ling of dependent rising. Even if they have exhausted all the efforts, they will not be able to do what Vimalakirti can in his transcendent power. Only the bodhisattvas of the great vehicle has such a power, can transform the big one into small one and tiny one into huge one. So just a little bit of fragrant rice can feed millions of bodhisattvas. And in an instant he could get to the omnifragrant Buddhaverse. And then instantly he could bring all the bodhisattvas to the Amrapura garden. And Vimalakirti could do it, but none of the Sravakas could. They could not even climb onto the Dharma thrones. So Sakyamuni Buddha still praise those on the vehicle, because the attainment of those practicing the smaller vehicle is still limited, but the greater vehicle is limitless. I've gone over. Om Mani Padme Hum.